Turn that sound off. So when you use sine rule, the reason for that is all the numbers on sine, like if you put sine and then any number next to it, sine times 1, sine times 2, etc., it actually makes a wave. It makes a wave of different numbers which go up and down. Now, you don't need to know this, but I'm just showing you why, okay? And it keeps going and going and going, so it's on like a continual scale, okay? So when I have an answer for sine times something equals something, there actually can be sort of like multiple answers for sine as we move through. And so what we need to be able to do is tell our calculator that we're using this sine rule to find a triangle angle, and now angles in a triangle are less than 180, okay? So I need to go, okay, within this wave, I only want to look for the answer between here, it's between 0 and 180, and that will give me the right answer for what we're looking for. Otherwise, it could give me multiple answers, and that's why when we've been using solve, using our calculator for finding an angle, we've ended up getting this really weird answer. Okay, if you rearrange it, and I'll show you how to rearrange it as well today, but if you rearrange the equation, it does work for you. So if you use inverse sine and then try and find the answer using this area formula, it works that way. So you've got two options. You can either add in this little bit into your calculator to tell the calculator to just look for answers between 0 and 180, or you can rearrange the equation and make sure you put it into your calculator that way. So let me show you what I mean. So let's do an example question. I'll show you the procedure. So we're looking at exercise 11B, question 15, which has a triangle which looks like this. And we're saying 13.4 centimetres. And we're saying 15.8 centimetres. And it's asking you for angle B, so this angle here, if the area equals 97.4 centimetres. All right, so if we look at this, we go, okay, we know the area, we're trying to find an angle. We've got two sides, so we're going to use that area rule with sine in it, okay? So that's the rule, which was area equals half AB sine C. Everyone remember that? Yeah, if not, it's on your formula sheet. Now, what did we need to know about the labelling of this? What needed to be labelled what? The angle needs to be labelled as C, okay? So therefore, the other numbers have to be A and B. All right, so we go through that procedure and sub in all the numbers. So we've got 97.4 equals half of 13.4 times by 15.8 times by sine C. Everyone good to there? All right, so then we have we have choices here. We have choice 1 and we have choice 2. Okay, so choice 2 is rearrange and solve. Choice 1 is solve, but put in parameters. Okay, so it's up to you which one you want to use. You'll still get the right answer either way. Okay, so in terms of rearranging and solving, this is the same procedure each time. Okay, so we start with 97.4 equals a half of 13.4 times 15.8 sine C. Everyone good to there? So we need to move all of this to the other side, right? So what are we going to do with it to move it to the other side? We're going to divide it. So we can end up with 97.4 over. Now, officially, you're not meant to write a fraction on the bracket, on the bottom of a fraction, but you can. Okay, now before you write all this properly, just hang on. If we got sine C, I now still won't find my answer. I've got to get C by itself. What do I do if I move sine to the other side? It's inverse sine. So instead of sine C, I'm going to write C, and I'm going to write inverse sine. So that is the rearranged formula. So you move everything to the bottom and you move the sine to inverse sine on the other side. Now that will get you the correct answer. Can someone tell me what their answer is though? So in essence, if I write it as a formula, just so you, because you might want to write it down, is this will be sine -1 area divided by half AB equals C. That's always going to work for you. Does that help? Yeah. Now, if you don't want to put a half on the bottom of a fraction, it's actually 2 times the area divided by AB, because to put the half up, we can actually bring the 2 to the other side. But I think that's easier for you guys to understand. Everyone good with that? Has someone got an answer for me? 66.93. Anyone else got that? 67? We'll go to 67. That's right, degrees. Okay, everyone okay with that? Okay, your other option, if you're someone who likes to use solve, which I like to use, I think solve is a really easy way of not making errors with your rearranging and stuff. If you are someone who wants to use solve, then you're going to write into your calculator solve bracket 97.4 equals half of 13.4, 15.8 sine C, and we're going to look for C, but we then have to put in an extra line, okay? What we're going to do, there's not space there right now, I have to just make this, is that I need to write down, I need to tell my calculator to only look for answers between 0 and 180. So to do that, and I'll grab my calculator up on screen, I have to get this sign here. It just looks like a straight up and down sign. Okay, and that tells me that I have to make a new, I'm giving an extra rule to this. So I'm going within certain parameters. So where I find that, I've just got to grab my calculator up. Where I find that button, it's on the control something, isn't it? Control equals, yeah? So if I grab open my calculator, and I then need to say that C needs to be between 0 and 180. So to write that, I need to go 0, C, so C is greater than 0, and C is less than 180. That's what I put into my calculator. It is, and I'll show you on my calculator. All right, so wrong one. Where's my calculator? That one. All right, so I write in my solve bracket, and sorry, I need to be able to see what I'm writing. 97.4 equals 0.5 times, is it 13.4? Yep, times 15.8 times sine C, and I'm looking for C. So that's what we've been putting in before. Everyone agree? Okay, I'm just going to copy it and see what happens. And what's happened is this answer just sort of rearrange things, or it's come up as a really weird answer. Actually, that's giving me a general answer. Hang on. I might use X instead of C. I don't think C is working for us. Other people have had like fractions and stuff. What have I done wrong? Yeah. That's why. Sorry. Thank you. Champion. When you write sign, that brings up the brackets. There you go. Okay, so we've been getting these weird answers there. Okay, so to change that, we need to put in the parameters. So the button we're looking for is control equals, , and that gives us this sign over here. So outside the brackets. After everything you've done, you've got to go, okay, we want to do that rule, but we want to put in this parameter. Okay, so we use that button there and we're saying we want that. Don't know why it's gone to answer, but anyway, that's okay. Is that why? I've told you this calculator is not my forte. I'm sorry. I'm learning as I go. Give me a class pad any day and I can answer over every question. Okay. So given that, our answer is between 0 and 180. So we again use the same button, control equals, to get greater than 0. So C is greater than 0 and C is less than 180. And then we get an answer here. Now this one's given us 2 answers because this is, yeah. So 0 to 180. So it's gone that we're saying that the angle is between 0 and 180. Now, see how it's given you 2 answers? That's because there are multiple answers to these questions, okay? However, in the question, it says, find the value of A, B, C in each of the following, correct to the nearest degree, given that each triangle is acute angled and the area of each triangle is as stated. So if it tells you that the area of each, so that each triangle is acute angled, which answer's right? 66. And what you'll notice is that the 2 numbers always add up to 180. Okay, so it will direct you to which answer is correct. You're never going to and if you don't know, just put both of them in. Can you guys see what we've done there? All right, so I'll just, pardon? The other way is a lot easier, but I just want to show you both ways because if you get in the habit, both are useful. Okay, and you can find out your answer there, which is 67 degrees. So both are still the same thing. Can you guys see that? All right, these buttons can all be found by going control, so CTIL, and the equals button. Okay, and that's where those buttons come from. Control equals gives you those buttons. So that is the extra bit you need to put in only for angles and only when you're using sine. Okay, so if you're ever using sine and you're finding an angle, you need to either rearrange it to use inverse sine or you need to make sure that you're actually finding an answer between 0 and 180. Are you guys okay with that? Could I get you, I know that a lot of you had trouble with question 17. Could you try and answer question 17 for me? I'll draw it up for you so you don't have to look at your book if you don't want to. And then we're going to move on. So question 17, some of you have already done it, but could you try doing it with your calculator and rearranging, so both methods, just to make sure that you understand it. So it is a triangle. You are trying to find this angle here. It's 15.7 centimetres. It is 16.8 centimetres. And the area is 69.9 centimetres squared. Could you try that question, please? Yeah.
Mine's still coming up with the same thing.
All right, just hang on 2 seconds.